Well, I bought another car. I wanted it to be four-wheel drive, I wanted another SUV, and I wanted it to be V8, and I wanted it to be affordable. And I found something that checks all of those boxes, and I think I got a great price on it, so let me show you. Hello everyone, and welcome to Marty Motoring. Today we're going to talk about this 2005 Toyota Sequoia Limited 4x4 that I just picked up. And like I said, it checks all the boxes that I was looking for in a cheap, reliable SUV. So I have the ISF. It's a 5-liter V8, and it's rear-wheel drive, and it's not great in snow. I have the Scion XB, which I made a video about with my 6-month review, and it's just really not fitting my lifestyle, so I'm going to sell it. So I got on the Facebook Marketplace and I started looking at SUVs in my cash price range. I really wanted a V8 4Runner, but unfortunately everybody wants pretty much double what I paid for this. And they're super rusty and it's just hard to find a clean one. Well, I saw this one with 311,000 miles, about an hour from my house, and I met up with them and I looked over it, and I was pleasantly surprised. And I actually had a 2002 back in 2016. I picked it up cheap, and it was a great beater 4-wheel drive SUV. I later got a 4Runner and then a Tacoma and a bunch of other stuff, and I really enjoyed all those, but there was just something nice about this cheap SUV that kept bringing me back. Tundras in this generation are like double the price, and it's the same frame and same engine. If you're unfamiliar with these, this is a Sequoia Limited, so it's the top trim. It's 4-wheel drive. It has a 4.7-liter V8, the 2UZ FE. And it has some quirks and faults, but it's a very reliable engine, and you can get them up to 1,000,000 miles. A lot of people have done that. Now, I think what scared most people away from this was the little bit of work it needed and maybe the mileage. This does have 311,000 miles on it, but overall the body is pretty clean. The frame was coated by Toyota in, I believe, 2016, and the rust that is on here is very repairable and doesn't really scare me. That's really the downfall of these, is the rust, but if it was addressed, it's not a big deal. Now, 311,000 miles, like I said, that is a lot on an engine, but these engines are known to go a long time with maintenance. So I bought this thing and I got a stack of maintenance records that shows me when the timing belt was done, which is one of the things of this engine, all the oil changes, tires, lower ball joints, upper ball joints, everything. That's really what plagues these, is the ball joints, the timing belt, and rust. But luckily all those things have been taken care of. I will need to do a timing belt soon, but hey, maybe that'll make some cool content. Now, these have the classic Toyota look, which I like. At the time this came out, it was a huge SUV, but now they're about the size of a modern day 4Runner, which I had. The paint is not perfect. There are scratches and I gotta wash it again. I did clean it up just real quick. I've only had it for a few days now, and I got it insured and transferred to my name with an old plate that I had. It's not the best condition. This bumper could use some readjusting. The trailer hitch is rusty. There's little things throughout it that need some attention, but I was willing to do that for the price I paid. So you might be wondering how much I paid. Well, these are usually going anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, and I got it for $3,900, which might seem like a lot to some people with a SUV of this mileage, but dealerships are selling these for like $6,000, $7,000, and these are known, good, reliable SUVs with good engines, good drivetrain, and this one had a lot of goodies that I didn't see on the other ones. I saw ones for $6,000, $7,000 with a lot of rust and like no features. So let me show you what it has. We got some faded running boards, but we do have keyless entry, and everything so far works in here. With some of the ones I looked at, the seats were ruined, but these are actually pretty clean. I don't see any tears or rips other than this. And that's not a big deal to me, at least, especially for this price of SUV. Everything here is original and clean, and I was really, really impressed. This has the JBL system. It's 10 speakers. You have disc and cassette. Some people watching might not have ever used a cassette. I used them when I was a kid. I don't think I really would use them now other than an aux adapter, but I have another solution for that. And you have the nice old Toyota key. So I'll start this up and show you the mileage. Starts up nice and smooth. You hear that V8 roar. So as you can see, 311,251 miles. And there is this weird flaw with this. I need to change either a sensor or the brake fluid, and it needs brake pads as well. But no matter what you do, the brake light just kind of comes and goes. And the previous owner said they drove it like that for 5,000 miles with no issues. They were moving out of state. They didn't need 3 vehicles, and this was used to haul their kids around for certain occasions. My family's pretty small. It's just me, her, and 1 daughter, but it's super nice to have the space. The back seats come out, everything folds down. There's a ton of space, so I can kind of use this as a beater truck. I can use it in the snow. I can use it for hardware store trips, and even when we go to the lake, throw the raft in the back and be good to go. This center console is definitely dated. It has a very dated look, but you can see 2-wheel drive, 4 high, and then we have the 4 low. We have a locking center diff. I'm not sure what the Shift L does yet. I've used the 4-wheel drive once so far to test it, and it works great, but I haven't really dove into this. But I do look forward to using the 4-wheel drive in the winter, and this came with pretty good newer tires, so we should be okay for now. If you know me, eventually I'll probably lift this thing and put nice wheels and tires on it, but I just spent, $3,900 on it, so I'm not doing that right away. For 2005, this has a huge sunroof. It's a moonroof. It tilts, it slides, everything works there. You see that little blue light? That's actually a Crux Bluetooth adapter. It plugs into the back of the stereo, and it takes the spot of the CD changer so that you can do Bluetooth audio, aux, and USB. Also, there are steering wheel controls on the steering wheel, which is super nice. And with the Bluetooth adapter that I have, everything works. So I can change tracks, up the volume. We have heated seat buttons for the driver and passenger up front here. And then on this side, there are the mirror controls, which is a weird spot for it. So let's move on to the back. So here in the back, we have the car seat in the middle. I can probably move it to one of these side seats. It doesn't look like there's a car seat hookup on this side, only because that seat flips so that you can get to the 3rd row. Let's hop in here. And there's a ton of room for somebody that's 6'1" and a bigger guy like I am. Like, there's a ton of room here. I'm comfortable. These seats are plush and comfortable leather, and I have no complaints back here. One other thing I forgot to mention up front, there's also a button to turn on the outlet that's right over here in the center console area. The rear has its own AC controls, which is super nice for somebody back here. There are vents for the 2nd and the 3rd rows, so that's super nice to see. You have cup holders here. There's 2 cup holders that slide out of there, and then there's 2 cup holders where my phone is. There is space here on the top, and then this also opens to reveal the DVD player. So it can hold 1 disc as far as I know, and you control everything from up there, but there is a remote and wireless headphones for this DVD player. So here's the remote. So here we are. I have Too Fast, Too Furious on DVD that I threw in there. And the quality is not amazing, but it is pretty cool to be able to see this. Now, normally it goes through the stereo, but I don't have that on right now. You also have headphone jacks with volume knobs here. So super nice if you want to watch a movie in the back. The driver and passenger want to listen to music. Put our remote back here, and I'll show you how the seats fold up. Before we look at that, one thing that is bad on these, like I said, is rust. This is one of the locations that they rust, and it's getting pretty bad, but that can be repaired pretty easily. And then we have the Toyota headphones that come with this, and they're not the best condition, but I haven't tested them yet. It'll be pretty cool if they work well though. And then say that car seat was over, this would probably be a little easier, but it still does work. It just kind of hits the base. So that's how the seat comes up, and you can access the 3rd row. Now, if the 3rd row is out, you have a ton of room. That would be easier, but I don't think we'll be accessing that much, so it'll actually be fine for us. And we'll probably put the car seat on that side, and then there'll be more room over here. Now, the 2002 that I had was only a 4-speed, and it had different style taillights. I like the 2005 Plus taillights better, so I'm glad I have those now. And this has the 5-speed transmission, kind of like the 4Runner. And here's a look at the back hatch. Not much to see here. There are some like hooks for groceries. We have like the jack area. I believe this is a sub or a speaker. I'm not actually sure. I have to look into that. Back here you do have little cubbies and cup holders for the 3rd row. so it's not a bad place to be. I don't think I'll fit super well back there or comfortable, so I'm not even gonna try, but these seats come out, just hit those handles. And it also came with the original Toyota emergency assistance kit. The previous owners of this vehicle definitely kept everything in place and took care of it, unlike the first Sequoia I had. So that's why I wasn't really afraid of 311,000 miles, because I saw signs that this thing was taken care of. There is some chrome showing under the black, but I don't know why they did chrome and black, but that's something easy to fix. The paint can definitely use some love and touch-ups, and then painting the trailer hitch as well, a nice black so it doesn't rust anymore. It does have a spoiler, which I like, and this window actually slides down. There's a button up by the driver to do it, or you can use the key just like a 4Runner and turn it down, or you can use this button. Very cool for hardware, store trips, or dogs, or videography out of the back of the Sequoia. Now it doesn't go back up with this. So really cool that all works on a cheap older vehicle like this. And here we're looking at the frame under the vehicle. You can see it was like coated or done by Toyota. I have the paperwork. I don't know exactly what they did to it, but it is very clean and solid. Tires are in good condition with good tread. So that was another selling point. That was nice to see, just so it's not something I have to dump money into right away, because there are other things on this vehicle that need attention. Before I go on a little drive, I'll just open up the hood here. And I already have some new nicer headlights on the way. These are pretty faded, and a new grille. So if you're interested in this Sequoia, definitely hit subscribe, stick around, and look out for those videos. Here in the engine bay, you got the V8 4.7 liter iForce, airbox, ABS, power steering fluid. I want to do all new fluids on this vehicle. Brake fluid's a little dirty. Radiator looks like it was replaced. It does not look OEM. Usually there's a Denso sticker here. I had to get a new radiator cap because when I went to check it, it broke. Definitely a little corroded and rusty here, just with 17 years of use. But nothing too bad. Now the valve covers are leaking oil a little bit. That's actually a common problem I had on my 2002 as well. So I already ordered the valve cover gaskets. You pretty much just have to move some stuff out of the way, unbolt it, clean it, put new gaskets, put it back on, and do that for both sides, and that'll be fine. So soon here I'll do new front brake pads, new brake fluid, new power steering fluid, new oil. So that's some maintenance to get done, but other than that, pretty solid vehicle. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it will get me through the snow. It's cheap, and I'm loving it so far. Now I have two V8s, the ISF and the Sequoia, and I don't actually drive that much, so the ISF is the fun car, and this is the around town and family car. Also, there's a TPMS light on. I'll worry about that someday. So now let's go on a little drive. Right, so around this parking lot here, we'll throw it in drive. I'm doing it one-handed. I also forgot to mention there are garage door controls and a sunglasses holder and some nice modes here. You can see we're getting a nice 13 miles per gallon. So, you know, this is not the most efficient vehicle, but it is what it is. V8 big old SUV. So it drives smooth. I will say the steering wheel is not as, you can definitely tell it's mechanical and not electronic. It's not like a hard steer like some of these newer cars. I mean, this is definitely like that old truck feel. It has a little bit of play to it. Feels like a 2000s truck, and that's exactly what it is. Keep going here on the road. Definitely has some good pickup, being 282 horsepower with the upgraded V8 in this. The one I had before was only 240 horsepower because it was not VVTi. This is VVTi, and it has the 5th gear in the transmission, and it just gets up and goes. So it's super nice. Lots of power. The brakes are not great. You really got to kind of step on them, and I think that's just an older design, or it needs new pads and fluid, which I'll be doing. And yeah, that's just kind of one of the complaints about this vehicle, is how the brake feel. It's not confidence inspiring, but they do work. One thing I had to do so far was replace all the turn signal bulbs because they were sporadic and hyper flashing, and some were just not working. But like I said, I'll be doing new headlights here very shortly, and doing some LED bulbs. So stay tuned. Well, that's going to be it for the first look at this new daily driver slash beater slash four-wheel drive off-road, whatever the heck it is. It's a great family vehicle. Glad I picked this up. Drop your comments below. What do you think of this new thing? Do you think there's a place still for the V8 in the SUVs? Does anybody need an SUV this big? Is it helpful? Is it useful? Do you find this a better value than the first gen Tundra? Because I sure do, because the bed is super nice, but you get some nice amenities in this and it's covered for less cost. The Tundras and the Tacomas and the 4Runners really hold their price because they are the well-known models, where the Sequoia kind of slips through because it's kind of forgotten about and thought of as like this big minivan or family vehicle. But honestly, it's a great overlanding SUV for a lot of people. Family vehicle, off-road, 4x4, it can do it all. So those are my thoughts. This is the start of the journey. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button to follow along with more content. I'm gonna make more on this and my Lexus ISF. You can follow me on Instagram at Marty Motoring. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep those wheels turning. So